All right, everyone. Richard Spencer was invited aboard on CNN the other day. It's a very, very funny because, it's like I debated Spencer years ago after the election. I was debating him. Remember the time that it was ostensibly between him and Sargon, and then, I was there, and I think several other people. I think, was Dawson aboard at the time? I think he was on board. There were like 5 or 6 people total that showed up. So I was debating him, and I remember because people on the far left were attacking me afterwards as though I was like, you're platforming hate, and, you're not... Basically, their problem was I was debating him, but I wasn't livid enough. Like, instead of just getting red in the face and saying, you evil Nazi, and stuff like that, you shouldn't be allowed to speak, you should be punched in the head. Instead of being a barbarian, I actually, asked him legit questions and used reason. Like, it was actually properly a debate. Like, I'm like, you've got this ethno-state plan, but you're not describing how to bring it about without killing people and stuff like that, which, by the way, he couldn't answer at the time, which was funny, and I don't think he still can in many cases. I've heard 4 or 5 different examples of how supposedly a white ethno-state is going to come about, and I've picked apart all of these arguments before, but it's a totally separate issue. So they platform Spencer, and it's like, I'm waiting for the right-wing watch hit piece against CNN that'll never be made, for them platforming this evil extremist. And I'm thinking to myself, the difference between me and a leftist on the issue is that I think that Spencer should be able to speak. He shouldn't be deplatformed. He shouldn't be assaulted. And I find it funny because people on the left are like, well, he's a violent Nazi. And then they're like, trying to punch him, and they're celebrating when he gets injured and weird shit like that. It's just total barbarism. But anyway, I'm thinking to myself, Richard Spencer, his basic thing, he was being questioned on Trump's tweets. Oh, what do you think about evil Orange Man's Nazi tweets, basically was the intonation. And his basic insinuation was, if you really listen to it, what he's basically saying is, well, I'm afraid that Trump's not racist enough. I'm afraid that he's not hateful. Look, Richard, I told people 3 goddamn fucking years ago, when you were totally on board with the MAGA thing and spouting off Pepe, I told people 3 goddamn years ago, Trump is not a racialist. He's not an ethno-nat in any way. He's not dog whistling to you. This is not a dog whistle to Richard Spencer or any identitarian. This isn't even a dog whistle to the populace. This is 4D chess where Trump is causing the Democrats to have a nervous breakdown. It's political theater. It's strategy. He keeps doing it because it works. He's made his whole career out of it. Nobody in a million years ever speculated that Donald Trump was a racist until that line was dragged out by a bunch of congressional members in the Democratic Party. They dragged it out because they couldn't deal with the fact that Hillary Clinton, that they were coronating, wouldn't be able to be Queen Bee. They are fucking terrified of Trump. They're terrified because they know one very important thing. Money rules all. Trump has lots of money. They can't control him. Trump probably didn't visit Epstein Island. Trump probably doesn't do perverted shit, so they can't blackmail him. Wow, that's funny. Finally, we have a president who's semi-independent. See, the thing is, this is what I said during the race. People were worried the election is going to be rigged. The election wasn't rigged. On either side, the Democrats started rambling about Russia the second that the election was over, which is also completely false. The Democrats and Republicans, the way that their party structure works, all you have to do is affect the primaries. You don't need to rig the general, because it'll usually be between 2 controlled op candidates. If the Republicans owned by Monsanto and Goldman Sachs, and the Democrats owned by AT&T Bell, does it matter who wins? No, they're both controlled by corporations. They probably both have enough slime on them to blackmail them from time to time. They're probably reliant upon corporate money. Trump is none of these things, so he's semi-independent. But I told people earlier on, the left and the identitarian right both got it completely wrong. They were both seeing in Trump what they wanted to see. The identitarian said, wow, Trump did frog meme, therefore he must be one of us. Shh, he's dog whistling to us Nazis. And then people on the left are like, well, he's an evil racist. Look, he posted the frog meme. And that's Nazi stuff. The SPLC says so. The ADL says so. Some other stupid group, some fucking partisan group says so. And you were always wrong. I told you back then, years ago, Trump is just a populist. He's fundamentally, this is Trump. He is a massively wealthy, child of privilege, admittedly, business Democrat from 90s New York, who's been in Hollywood rubbing elbows with the rich. He's not like some people on the right. They seem to think the same thing as people on the left. They have this illusion of Trump that he is elaborately spun, that he's sort of boorish. He's sort of a piggish man. They sort of refer to him as like a rich redneck, like a Beverly Hillbillies sort of deal. That's how they've looked at him. He loves it. He loves it when people do that. But to say that, and for CNN to drag Richard Spencer with all of his finesse aboard to worry about whether Trump is actually one of us or whether maybe it's not just red meat in these tweets. The tweet's not a dog whistle. And by the Spencer, you're being used by CNN when they try. Do you honestly think CNN on a normal day wants to talk to you or any other identitarian individual? Do you actually believe that? No, they dragged you on there to further the orange man bad thing. Oh, here's Richard Spencer. He likes Trump, but he's beginning to get worried that he's just going to dog whistle. That he's not fully dedicated to killing a bunch of Jews and black people. That's basically what CNN wants their audience to see. It's a bunch of political theater. It's their strategy too. The legacy media is dying, so they drag Richard Spencer on there to be like a little circus monkey for them. And they watch him dance around. They chuckle about it. They're mocking you, dude. Does Richard? Someone needs to tell Spencer, you need to wise up about your media appearances. Because they're making you look like a mockery. You're not winning any allies and converts to my white ethno principles by going on CNN. It's just not going to happen. The best spoken, the highest ranked individual, like you're talking like the ultimate debater, 4D chess users, they wouldn't be able to change any minds if they went aboard on CNN. And with all due respect to Spencer, in this particular appearance, it doesn't come off very well. I know you're like, well, fuck optics. Okay, well, maybe that's the fact because you follow a non-pragmatic sort of ideological line, but to think that you getting a 20-second blurb on CNN is going to change anyone's mind, the only thing it's done is help reinforce the idea of orange man bad. You're being, some people, some identitarians, they're as delusional as the far left. They actually believe that Trump is a racist. The difference is they're demoralized. They're sad. The left is sad because they're like, oh my God, the president's a Nazi. And then people who are actually like Hitler mode, they're like, oh, it's terrible. The president's not a Nazi or not enough of a Nazi. You're swallowing the Kool-Aid, dude. So yeah, be interesting to have a conversation about that. But it's like, when me and Spencer had our conversation about music, we spend like an hour basically chuckling about the 80s and how shitty modern music is. People jump down our throats for that. It's like, so I'm not allowed to have a normal conversation with the dude? I have to viscerally hate him? I don't hate Richard Spencer, and I certainly don't fucking believe he should be deplatformed or attacked. But I'm still damn well going to disagree with him when he's blatantly wrong about Trump's characteristics, and he goes on CNN and emboldens them. And then the left, they're not going to attack CNN for having Spencer on. You might hear a few mumblings from far-left Twitter. Oh, well, it's regrettable. They're platforming the Nazis. They're not going to try to go after CNN's advertisers, get them kicked off YouTube. The clip's right on there. Wow. Maybe they should go and form an outrage mob. By the way, if that ever happened, it'd probably bring the whole paradigm crashing down around them. That'd be funny. A bunch of right-wingers should go and pretend to be left-wingers and complain to YouTube about CNN, maybe. Maybe if they get removed from priority status, that'd be really funny. That is, by the way, how social panics end. The people that help spawn them end up getting bitten by their own vicious dog that they've spawned, the outrage mob, basically. But no, I thought it was very, very funny. It's like, you've got a person who's identitarian. He doesn't really like Trump so much as before when it was all fun and games, the frog memes and stuff. This is why I distanced myself from the alt-right, because you went from being quite humorous and understanding that memes are funny as well, and you can mock people, you can mock culture, and the cuckery side of the right, the new wave neocons, which aren't conservative at all, to trying to design a Northwest Front sort of stuff, and it's like it's not funny anymore. It's going to cause potentially political violence, which I could never support. By the way, it's funny, the other day people were like, oh my God, civil war was trending locally and stuff. I'm like, it'd be funny if the far left tried to start a civil war. Because what are they going to do, armor their wheelchairs? Weaponized pink hairspray as a chemical weapon? It's like, come on, it's not going to happen. And by the way, I do think the far left should arm up. Yeah, everyone should own guns. Guns are cool. It's a great thing. That's about all. Peace out.